To the untrained eye, I'm standing in a random but well-manicured neighborhood in downtown Denver. But to a historian, I'm standing in the remnants of a forgotten town. The 9th Street Park on the Auraria Campus can be a feature that is overlooked by most, but this park is a registered National Historical Landmark. Naturally, many students are aware of other historical landmarks like the Tivoli and St. Cajetan's Church. However, these buildings are among Denver's oldest and predate Colorado statehood. Each of them have their own unique history.
Auraria was one of the original gold rush towns. Gold was discovered in the metropolitan area in 1858, mainly down toward Englewood, but people moved up here a little bit later, and William Green Russell and his brothers were largely responsible for founding Auraria. Actually, Russell wasn't around at the time, but I think it was his brothers that founded Auraria, naming it after their hometown in northern Georgia.
A month later, another gold camp will start right across Cherry Creek, where Larimer Square is, called St. Charles. And we'll see the two of them will merge, though, in April of 1860 to become eventually Denver City. We have the gold camp of Auraria. Will get started and become later a working class. In the 19th century, it'd be primarily Irish and Germans living in what's now the Auraria Campus, and it was kind of mixed industrial and some commercial buildings. We see, though, around the turn of the century, a change in population, and we'll start seeing a lot more Jews and Hispanic coming in here.
Residents who lived on 9th Street were primarily laborers. Some were in the military like Kirby Brenson of the Air Force. Others were barbers like Thomas Comford and painters like Sarah Acosta. The park we see today doesn't look incredibly different than the functioning residential street it used to be. 2 trolley cars ran right through here, carrying busy passengers to and from their destinations.
Yes, and on 9th Street we have the oldest buildings on the campus. Clear on the southwest corner, we have the Smedley House. It was built in 1872. That house was on the very edge of the prairie. That was the edge of Denver. So south across Colfax and West Georgia River was wide open. Now the Smedley, he was a pioneer dentist. Now later the Smedley House, Ramon and Carolyn Gonzalez will buy this. It'll become Casa Mayan. And it's going to be Mexican food restaurant. But also it's really the political heart of Hispanic political parties here. And yes, they would come in there and organize Casa Mayan, and it would be that till 1974.
The second half of the 20th century produced a lot of upheaval in Denver as historic structures were being uprooted in order to make room for new structures.
Historic Denver agreed to raise, I think it was around $750,000, which in current terms would be $7 to $10 million, so it was a lot of money. Historic Denver was very fortunate at that point to have 2 super preservationists in charge or involved. One was Barbara Sudler and the other was Barbara Norgren. And Barbara Sudler was head of Historic Denver and Barbara Norgren was her assistant. And so they went to work organizing, raising money, getting contractors, doing all the things that were necessary to save the houses.
The town of Auraria was a diverse neighborhood in the heart of downtown Denver. The same could be said about the Auraria Campus that stands in its place. We are 3 institutions with hundreds of departments and thousands of students, all striving to make a better history. This is Nett Jackson for the Met Report, signing off.